Ever stop and think about the last thing you bought? Was it really an impulse buy, or did a brand kind of guide you to it? From the ads you scroll past to the deals you just can't resist, there's a whole strategy at play. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how brands tell stories that are designed to make us listen and, well, ultimately, to act.
So let's start with this big idea from marketing guru Seth Godin. He says, marketing is no longer about the stuff you make, but about the stories you tell. And honestly, that one idea changes everything. It means marketing isn't just a sales pitch anymore. It's a narrative, a really compelling one. So our job today is to figure out exactly how that story gets told.
All right, so before we can really get into the story itself, we've got to understand the language it's told in. And that all starts with one of the most fundamental concepts in marketing: promotion.
At its heart, promotion is really just how a business communicates with us. It's a strategy that has two main goals: to inform you and then to persuade you. Think about it. First, they have to make you aware that a product even exists. Then, they need to get you interested. And finally, of course, they want to encourage you to actually make that purchase. This whole process is the engine that drives the entire marketing machine.
So, how do brands actually structure this whole conversation? Well, they often use a classic framework, a kind of playbook called the IDA model. It's a four-step journey they want to take you on. First, they grab your attention. Second, they build your interest. Third, they create a real sense of desire. And finally, they push you to take action. This model is pretty much going to be our roadmap for the rest of this explainer.
Let's start with that, and maybe most crucial step, attention. I mean, in a world just filled with endless distractions, this is probably the hardest part of the job, right? How does a brand cut through all that noise just to make you look up for a second?
And the number one tool for grabbing that attention? You guessed it, advertising. It's a very direct attempt to influence how you think and how you feel about a product. Whether it's a TV commercial that makes you laugh or just a photo that makes you pause your scrolling, the goal is always the same: to earn just a single moment of your focus.
And these ads, they come at us from all over the place. On one hand, you have the traditional heavy hitters, television, print magazines, things that reach massive audiences. And then on the other hand, you have the digital world, with these super targeted social media ads and search results that, let's be honest, sometimes feel like they can read our minds.
But here's the thing. It's not just about where an ad is placed, it's about what's in it. This is where things get a little brainy. Our brains are literally hardwired to notice things like bright colors and really compelling images. You pair that with some clear text and maybe a little emotional trigger, and bam! You've got the perfect recipe for capturing our attention, even if it's just for a split second.
Okay, so a brand has your attention. What's next? Well, they have to work fast to turn that quick glance into genuine interest, and then turn that interest into real desire. This is where the story starts to get personal, moving you from "what is this?" to "I think I want this."
One really powerful way they do this is through public relations, or PR. This isn't so much about a direct sales pitch, it's more about building a positive reputation. Like a news story about a company doing something good for the community, or a great review from a source you trust. It's all about building goodwill and making you actually like the brand, which is a huge step toward wanting what they sell.
And then, you have the most direct method of all: personal selling. This is all about the human touch. When a real person, a salesperson, takes the time to actually talk to you, to understand what you need, and build a relationship, well, that creates a really powerful connection. That one-on-one interaction can turn some mild interest into a strong desire for a solution that feels like it was tailor-made just for you.
All right, we've made it to the final and most critical step in our AIDA model: action. The brand has your attention, they've sparked your interest, they've even created desire. Now, they've got to close the deal and get you to actually make that purchase.
And the main tool they use here is the sales promotion. Its secret weapon? Urgency. These are always short-term strategies. They're designed to create a little bit of excitement and give you a really good reason to buy it right now, before the opportunity is gone forever. So how do they create that sense of urgency? Well, it all comes down to tapping into our FOMO, our fear of missing out. First, they give you a super clear call to action, telling your brain exactly what to do. Then, they use urgent language like limited time offer to create scarcity. They highlight the benefits to remind you what you'll get. And finally, a time-sensitive incentive makes it feel like a no-brainer. Every single step is designed to get us to stop hesitating.
And these are the tactics you see every single day. Coupons, big discounts, contests, free samples, loyalty programs. All of these are just different types of sales promotions. Each one is a little nudge, an extra reason to go from thinking, I want it, to clicking, I'm buying it.
So we have advertising grabbing our attention, PR building our trust, and sales promotions pushing us to act. But for a really great brand, these aren't just separate activities happening at random. No, they're all part of a much bigger symphony.
Which, of course, leads to the big question. How do they actually coordinate everything? How do they make sure that the TV ad, the social media post, and the in-store discount all feel like they're coming from the exact same brand?
Well, the answer is a strategy called Integrated Marketing Communications, or IMC for short. You can think of it as the master plan or the conductor of the orchestra. IMC is all about coordinating every single message across every single channel to create one clear, unified voice for the brand. It's the difference between a bunch of random noise and a beautiful harmony.
And this consistency, it is absolutely critical. A unified message creates a brand identity that really sticks in your mind. It builds trust because you know what the brand stands for no matter where you encounter it. And at the end of the day, it just cuts through all the clutter and makes their core message impossible to miss. So, I'll leave you with a final thought, a little challenge. As you go about your day, look for this in action. Can you spot a brand whose message feels perfectly in sync absolutely everywhere you look? Because when you find one, you're not just seeing good advertising, you're seeing a masterclass in modern marketing.